Hi Mark, so I just wanted to record this quick video just to give you a bit more of an idea about the website and where it's currently ranking. So you can see here, we're in the back end of the website. This is the position here on the right. Just to show you, in the past 30 days or 28 days, we've had 37 visitors to the website. But if I scroll down here, basically what I did is I went to Wikipedia and got a list of every single town, village and suburb within Devon, basically everywhere that had a church, and ranked the website on the first page for that. So I just want to show you all of the rankings. See, we're still number one. If we go to the next page, we're number two for all of these ones. East Budleigh, South Taunton, you may have heard of a few of these places. Howden, Showbrook, you've probably heard of. So let me just do that one for you and just show you. Wedding photographer, Showbrook. And the reason I'm using this incognito window is sometimes if you've been on other websites before, it'll show them up higher in the search engine. So I'm just using this to show you what it looks like for anybody. So you can see here, we're here again, best wedding photographer, Showbrook. It's in the second spot, as it says in the back, and it might even have your website still. No. So there we go. Okay, and all it'll happen, it'll overlay your website on top of mine, and then if we keep going down, you can see number two, number two, number two. Oh, up here to position. So you can see there's 267 pages showing up on the first page or thereabouts. These are the rankings: number 3, number 5, and it stops there. So there's 200 in total that are ranking on the first page, and you can see these are kind of the bottom of the first page here, and then from there on it goes to the second page. Okay, there's over 100 places. So again, even if this website at the moment is getting, say, 1 to 2 visits every single day, over a month, that's 30 to 60 people visiting a website. Even if you only had a 1% conversion, you get a new customer every 2 months. And I'm sure if you charge, say, £500 to £1,000, that's a really good return on investment for you. So what I'd now like to do is just show you a few changes that I noticed to your website that you can make immediately that will improve your rankings in the search engines. And I can obviously talk in more detail about this at a later date, but just to show you a few things. So the first thing we notice when we come to your website is these images here, and it looks wicked. It looks really, really good. But there is a slight problem with having images right at the top here. So to explain SEO in a bit more detail, you may not know that there is actually an algorithm in place that Google uses to determine which websites show up ahead of its competitors. And Google actually releases all of the patents from its algorithm. So it uses 200 different equations within that algorithm to determine which websites show up higher than the competitors. And one of those equations is something called above the fold. Now this stems from traditional newspapers, and if we just come here, so we can see here, this is one of Google's patents for its algorithm. And you can see here it says advertisement. So this comes from newspapers. So if you picked up a folded newspaper, the story would have to begin above the fold, if that makes sense. The content would have to be there rather than displaying adverts, so people could read the story immediately. And the same applies to your website digitally. So if we come back to your website, you can see the image here is above the fold, meaning we have to scroll down to see the words on your page. And Google don't like this, because if we go back to the patent, what happens is Google is a robot, right? It's a piece of software. So when it crawls websites and it ever sees an image above the fold, it automatically assumes that that image is an advertisement, and it'll negatively rank you in Google for doing that. So a simple change you can make to your website, it would be simply just to put this content here above the image and make sure the content is above the fold, and that simple change will increase your rankings in the search engines. The other thing, I've just had a quick look, you don't have on here is YouTube videos. So YouTube is owned by Google, and 97% of Google's revenue comes from advertising. So if you have YouTube videos on your site that Google have an opportunity to display an advert on, then they're much more incentivized to rank your website higher than the competitors. Okay, so you can simply make this slideshow into a video and put it at the top, because YouTube videos also count as content. So you could do that. Instead of having this, you could have a YouTube video. But that's another thing you can add. To go into a bit more detail, what I'm going to do is I'm going to take your website and put it into this tool called Majestic. And Majestic is a tool that allows us to see your website through Google's eyes. These two metrics, trust flow and citation flow. So trust flow is a measurement from 1 to 100 of how trustworthy the links coming to your website are. And citation flow is a measurement from 1 to 100 of how many links are coming to your website. You're probably thinking, well, what's a link? Well, if you've ever been on social media and you've shared a article you like, let's see if we can find something here. If you've shared an article you like, then that is effectively a link. And what Google looks for is not just the quality of the links coming to you, not just the quantity, but also the velocity. So the way Google used to work is it used to be like a presidential election. So whoever had the most links coming to their website would win. But what happened is people kind of started developing software there where they just spam loads of links coming to their website and they get to the top of Google and start making loads of money. And Google didn't like it. So now what they look for is not only the quantity of links, but the quality and the velocity. So how quickly are you acquiring links? Are you getting links from a bunch of spammy sites, or are you getting links from high quality social platforms like Facebook and YouTube and other things? So if we come down here, you can see you've got a trust flow of 17 and a citation flow of 21. That's not bad. Importantly though, you never want these numbers to exceed a 1:3 ratio, and they're not here, which is good. We can then see your referring domains and referring IPs. Come down here and see how many URLs you have on your website. And here's the velocity. This is how quickly you're acquiring links. Okay. Now I'm going to come down here and look at your anchor text. Now this is a really important part of Google's algorithm. So anchor text are the words people are using to link to your website. So if you've ever been on like Wikipedia and you've seen these little blue hyperlinks are also known as anchor text. And you want to ensure that you're using a few types of anchor text. So you've got here Evolve Photography, which is your brand. That's great because people are linking to your website using that. And this is how Google determines or differentiates good quality sites from bad quality sites. Is good quality sites get their brand mentioned across multiple properties. So that's really good. You've got that there. You've also got URL anchor text there as well. But one thing I'm not seeing is keyword anchor text. So depending on what keywords you want to rank for example, wedding photographer Exeter, you'd want to ensure that when people are linking to your website, they're using that exact text to link to your website. And there's many ways we can do this, and obviously I can go into more detail if you'd like. But what I'm going to do now is take your website again and put it into another tool called Ahrefs, and this is just going to give us another set of data. Again, it allows us to see your website through Google's eyes. So if we come here and copy your website, this will also show us what keywords you're currently ranking for. Brilliant, you've got 131 keywords you're currently showing up for, which is great. Just wait for it to load. Boom, 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 boom. Okay, so we can see this is where most of your links are coming from, and unfortunately most of your links are coming from not bad quality sites, low quality sites. So one thing we could do to improve your rankings immediately would be go out there and get some links from high quality sites linking to your site with the right anchor text, as I said. So wedding photographer Exeter, for example, linking to your site, and I can go into more detail about that a bit later on. So we can then look at the distribution, so where you're getting your backlinks from, and most of yours are coming from the United Kingdom, which is fantastic. Here again it shows us your anchor text, and we're not seeing any keyword anchor text. There we go, there's one bit of keyword anchor text. There's Devon, that's another bit, so that's okay, but we'd need to add a bit more. So let me just have a look at the keywords you're currently showing up for and show you any improvements you can make. So let's look here. So you're currently ranked number 7 for Devon wedding photographers, and that's getting 250 searches a month. And it's currently looking at your home page. So let me explain how you can rank higher for this. So if we go to Google and type in Devon wedding photographers, let's find your website. So what Google will look for when ranking a website is, the first thing they look for is the keyword you're trying to show up for, does that show up in your URL? So you can see here, wedding photography. So let's use the guy at the top. So you can see here they have the keyword in their URL, they have it in their page title, and they have it right here in the meta description. So this is perfect, and this is why these guys are ranking at the top. Okay, because the Google bot or Google itself reads like a human, top to bottom, left to right. So if you can have your keyword as far left as possible in the URL and in the title and in the meta description, then Google really like that, and that's why these guys are showing up at the top. Now there are a few other things that come into play. Like I said, where are they getting their links from that are linking to their website? They also have things like how old is their website as well. But that's just a quick overview. So if you wanted to rank higher for Devon wedding photographers, what you want to do is create a separate page on your website that would be at evolvephoto.co.uk/Devon wedding photographers. And what we want to do is ensure it was in the URL like this, but we'd also want to ensure that it was in your content on your page. And you can see here I'm using the find tool, and it's not finding that keyword anywhere. So simply by adding that keyword into this content here, that'll increase your ranking from number 7 to, I'd say, number 3 or number 2. Okay, so that's a simple change we can make. But with search engine optimization, what we want to look for is volume, because we want to find the searches that are getting the most searches every month. And one way we can do this is use another tool called SEMrush. And what we can do is then go and find, say, this guy who's one of your competitors, even though it is a wedding magazine, they're showing at the top for this term. So what we can then do is start to plug your competitors into this tool and to other tools I can show you. What this will do is it'll start to show us all of the keywords that your competitors are showing up for. So what I can do for you is, as well as optimizing your website for the keywords you're currently ranking for, we can go out there and create a seed list of other keywords that are getting the most search traffic. And the way we do this is we copy people. So if you think about it, big companies like this, see, they're getting about 1,300 people visiting their website, and what they've done is they've obviously spent loads of time, loads of money determining which keywords resonate with the market, meaning which ones are getting the most search volume. So what I can do for you is simply plug your competitors into this tool, and by doing that we'll be able to create a seed list of keywords that we know are going to get you lots and lots of traffic, or lots and lots of people to your website. And it will just be a case of building out pages on your website around these specific keywords and ensuring we're linking to your website with the correct anchor text from other websites. So the way I get links to your website is that digital evictions happen every day. So if you don't pay your rent, you get kicked out of your house. Well, the same thing applies to websites. If you don't pay your website hosting, you get kicked out of your website. So what I do is I go to auction and buy websites that already have trust within Google, and then we link out from those websites to your website with the correct anchor text and by optimizing the pages in a certain way. And then by doing that, over time, your website will start to appear on the first page of Google. But you can see how I've just put in their URL, and there's a obviously this is in Cornwall, so you may want to rank for that, but you can see if we actually look at the report, we'll be able to find keywords that are getting lots and lots of searches. So Mammoth House is actually a wedding venue. So one thing we could do is rank you on the first page of Google for wedding venues. So when people are looking at venues, you can be like, this is the best photographer for this venue, for example. Okay, but it would just be a case of putting lots of your competitors into these tools, compiling a seed list of 5 to 10 keywords we want to go after. Then I can start to build out pages on your website around those keywords and start getting links and social signals and other